Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome back to another Civilization 6 experiment. Today we are going to be doing another scientific showdown. Based on the comments that I got on the other one, I decided to do another one. We're going to call this, in the spirit of the Olympics, Heat number 2 of our scientific showdown. And I think we're going to run through these four civilizations here, and then we'll have a final battle with the ones that won the last one as well. So we'll see how that works. Have a little fun with it and kind of go from there. As you can see, we've already picked out our civilizations for this matchup. We have Gilgamesh up here, bring in Sumeria. So they're going to bring in the ziggurats, which is going to be a lot of extra science from those, especially if they have those scattered all over the place. So that's going to be helpful. We're going to see how that works. Plus the fact that they have the war carts and a little bit aggro. We'll see how that plays into, you know, the conquest of other civilizations, if they can affect the other civilization's ability to produce science by taking some of their cities or just harassing them or whatever. We'll see how that comes into play. Then we have China down here. They're going to bring in the bonus of having less technology to research every time they get a Eureka. So that's going to, make a bit of a difference. So we'll see how that plays into things. Plus the fact that can be able to build, hopefully, presumably a lot more wonders than everybody else because of their ability to rush those wonders with their builders. They may be able to get some of those, key science wonders and whatnot, or key production wonders maybe, and really help carry themselves to a victory as well. I'll be honest, I kind of think these are my early favorites, China, just based on some other games I've had with them, but I could be wrong, we'll see. Next up, we have Australia, and they're really going to have a good bonus for their science from their extra yields for their campuses based on the appeal of the tiles. So that's going to make a pretty big difference. And then they also have, pretty good production as well, which is very, very important in a science victory. It's not just about science, it's about that production as well. And finally, we have Frederick Barbarossa for Germany. Again, these guys don't really have any specific science bonuses necessarily, but they do have really, really good production. So we're going to see how that comes into play. Because again, science victory is as much about production really as it is about science. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this thing started. All right, here we are in game. And as you may notice, the map looks exactly the same as it did for our last scientific showdown. I used the exact same random seeds for this, so we're gonna have a pretty even playing field based on the other heat, if you will. Up here in the north, we have blue Sumeria. Over here to the west side, we have Germany. We'll call it, I guess, those gray Germany. A bit further south of them, we have green Australia in their normal colors. And then a little bit farther over to the east, we have a little bit of a darker green China. That's the first continent. Let's go ahead and jump over to the next continent. We have the lighter green, their default colors of China right here on the west side. A little further south, we have Australia, kind of a nice deep blue. Then we have orange Germany here in the middle. And finally, up here in the far north, we have a orangish Sumeria. So yeah, let's see here. Let me see if there's anything we wanted to call out about where they're starting. One thing I will be interested to see is if anybody takes advantage of this really good scientific natural wonder over here that did in the last game. And a lot of people are pretty far away from it, but it's such a good wonder. It would be crazy for them to not go over there. Other than that, not much craziness to talk about, I suppose. We have one of each civilization on each continent like we did last time. The only other thing I would say is, again, Sumeria over here is starting off with the Mercury Luxury Resource. So you combine that with their ziggurats, we can have a lot of just flat science on the tiles that they can work with their citizens. So we'll be interested to see how that makes a difference. But let's go ahead and jump ahead 50 turns. All right, here we are at turn 51, and as we can see here, blue Sumeria is already starting to roll out the war carts. So we'll have to see how much of a difference that's going to make with his early conquest, capabilities compared to the other people. Other than that, he's only got 2 cities down, so that's a little concerning, but hopefully he starts. I mean, he looks like he's growing another settler up here, so hopefully he starts to grow a bit more and doesn't get blocked in up here. We've come over here to Germany. They've got their 3 cities down already, so that's good to see. Nothing else really maybe to speak of. I mean, Trier is growing pretty well as far as borders are concerned. We'll have to see how he's able to, kind of fend for himself over here on the west side. Although he is very near Australia. Australia has 3 cities as well. They got this one city up here in the desert, although it is going to be near a pasture, so he's going to be able to roll out his outback frontier post or whatever. So that's good to see. He's actually building a wonder here as well. He's building the Temple of Artemis. So that's interesting. he hasn't swung quite down to this natural wonder down here that gives him a little bit of extra faith, food, and production. So we'll be good to see if he can take advantage of that extra production down here. It's not the greatest area other than this right here. So we'll see what happens. And then we'll come over here to the darker green China. He's got 3 cities already. He's got a bunch of warriors out. It looks like he might be going after somebody somewhere. Other than that, not much else to speak of. Let's go ahead and head over to the other continent. First up, we have the lighter green China. Do they really only have 2 cities as well? Got several units, but that is all I am seeing. So, oh no, there's another settler over here. So he's about to get a 3rd one down. So that'll be good for him to have, I think. If we come over here to Germany here in the middle, they also only have 2 cities, but they do also have a settler about to go out. So we'll have to see what they can do with that. And if we swing down to, oh wow, Australia down here, looks like they're being very aggro against Vilnius, which is, going to get them an extra city, so I think that's fine. That'll give them 4 cities, actually. That's the most of anybody at the moment if they can pull that one off. And then finally, we have Sumeria up here. Wow, Lisbon is really pumping out the warriors, so I bet Sumeria wishes they could go after Lisbon. Maybe they already tried and got overwhelmed, who knows. They don't really have much of a military to speak of for themselves, so that's a little surprising. They got this wonder down here they could come to get a little bit of faith and gold. Might help them a little bit. They are already starting to get some ziggurats down as well to get some of that flat science bonus, which is good to see. Speaking of science, let's see where people are at. Overall, the score, we've got China in the lead, followed by this orangish Gilgamesh. Got Australia. It's really kind of spread out pretty evenly. It's not too bad to see. Actually, it's kind of interesting. We have China, Sumeria, Australia, Germany, China, Sumeria, Australia, Germany. Like, it goes in order like that. And all of the guys on this continent actually have the higher scores at the moment. Fascinating. Overall science. Let's actually go to the overall. Currently, this Gilgamesh over here is actually leading with 8 technologies, 14.3 science per turn. We got China at about 11, the other China at about 7, about half that. The other Gilgamesh about 10. So they're all pretty close to each other. Although Germany down here's only got 4 techs versus the 8 techs for Sumeria. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see what Germany. Maybe they've been beelining some of the more expensive techs. Other than that, let's see if we can go ahead and jump ahead another 50 turns. All right, here we are at turn 101, and right away I could see that Sumeria over here is being very aggro against Antioch over here. Actually, starting to work on the city. Got several war carts over here. Got some pillaging done. Have to come back later and see if they've been able to take that city or not. Other than that, they've only got 3 cities, but they do have another settler coming out. I bet if they can get this city, that will really set them up pretty well for controlling a lot of this northern part of this continent. But yeah, they got their ziggurats coming out as well. They actually got the pyramids over here. It's interesting to see. Let's go ahead and jump over here to Germany. Germany's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cities now. It's a pretty big growth compared to what they were last time. It's kind of funny. They got their capital down here, and then all the other cities are pretty separated from their capital at the moment. But it's pretty good plots of land, so to speak. Not much to speak of, maybe militarily. I'm not sure. Maybe they're coming over here to do something with China. Who knows? If we come down here to Australia, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 cities over here for Australia. They got a lot of units, though. Not sure what they're doing with them. Still haven't come down here to take advantage of this natural wonder, but they did get the Temple of Artemis out. And that's about all I'm seeing. And then finally China over here. The darker green China. They've only got 3 cities. Again, they're also being kind of aggressive up here with Antioch. I'm not sure if they're also at war and they're going to try and steal that, or maybe they're trying to defend. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with that. But other than that, they don't really have a lot of cities. Oh, no, there's another one. There's a 4th one. Right over here. Right next to some Mercury. Get some of that bonus as well. That's good to see. All right, let's go over here to the other continent, which was the better continent at the 50 turn mark. All of these guys were a little bit better off. This China right here has got 5 cities. Good to see. A couple catapults being put up, so maybe they're trying to go after something. We got Germany here in the middle. They also have 5 cities. Not too bad, not too bad. We got Australia down here at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cities. Wow, he's really growing strong. Kind of getting down here in the desert on a couple of these cities as well. Is he building? Yes, he's building the Jebel Barkal. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, not too bad. Some not a lot of military units though, so I'll have to see if somebody can do something against him with regard to that. And then finally up here we got the other Sumeria, and they've got their 4 cities as well. Still haven't done anything against Lisbon. Maybe they're just going to stay friends with them, which is fine. They do have a few war carts out, and they are starting to build some more of the ziggurats, it looks like. But overall, not too bad. They actually got the Stonehenge out as well, so they have a religion rolling for themselves. Let's go look at the rankings. Currently, China is now in the lead, which, I'm not too surprised. I actually kind of expected China to be in the lead, personally. But they're running at 29 science per turn. Gilgamesh, this Sumeria over here is at 25, so he hasn't dropped down much. He was the leader at the 50 turn mark, I should say. John Curtin's actually got the most science per turn at the moment. No, I'm sorry. The other China has the most science per turn. Wow, the other Australia as well. There's a lot of people down here towards the bottom that have a lot of science per turn compared to these guys at the top. They just don't have the more technologies, which, again, maybe that just means they were going for more expensive technologies early on. It's kind of hard to say. It's a little bit too early to judge too much. Overall score, it does look like the... Oh, I might have mistaken. I thought all the Germany's over here. I think I mistook. Maybe I mistook these 2 Germanys, or maybe they did flip-flop. I actually don't remember. But again, we do have one of each civilization in the top half and one of each in the bottom half. So it's fairly even at the moment. But again, we're still very early in the game. Let's go ahead and jump ahead another 50 turns. All right, here we are at turn 151. And it does look like Germany is coming after Sumeria, but actually they're allies. So maybe he's coming over here to help protect them, because he's actually currently at war with the dark green China over here. In fact, there's actually a crouching tiger here just kind of causing some havoc. But I think Sumeria's got enough units right here to defend himself. He does have 4 cities now. Several ziggurats being built. Again, the ziggurats combined with the Mercury is really going to give a lot of flat science. In fact, if we go ahead and turn on yield icons, it's just science, 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 science all over the place over here. So that's really, really good to see. Maybe that'll give him a little bit of a leg up. Well, we'll have to find out. Germany, again, I'm not exactly sure what he's doing with his units other than maybe protecting Sumeria. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. Sumeria is actually building a Petra over here as well. But anyway, Germany, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cities. Decent number of units. Again, kind of in a weird spot unless, again, he's protecting him. Oh, he's actually got another settler just by itself with no help coming across the middle of the map. That's kind of fascinating to see. What else we got? We got dark green Australia down here. They got 6 cities as well. I was going to say they'd be a good candidate for Petra as well, but I don't really see them building one at the moment. Nothing else really to speak of at the moment. They got a lot of crossbows and other things, so I don't think anybody's going to be hurting them anytime soon. We'll have to see if they're going to go out on any conquest themselves. And then finally, the darker green China over here has 6 cities at the moment as well. And they're actually already starting to build their Great Wall improvement, so let's see what they're going to end up doing with that. Otherwise, though, looking pretty strong, looking pretty good. Sumeria was in a good spot to try and take Antioch over here, but it looks like that did not work out for them. And now China is actually in a position, they've already got the walls down to try and potentially take Antioch themselves. So maybe. Let's go ahead and jump over to the continent real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cities, 9 cities for the lighter green China over here. Wow, that's a lot of cities. You also got this one down here on this natural wonder that gives food production, culture, and a little bit extra combat strength if you're fighting in there, which is probably not going to be too relevant in this game, but the rest of that stuff's pretty nice. Decent number of units, he's got a general at least here. Actually, another general right there. I think he's going to be off to a pretty strong start overall. Yeah, not too bad. Come down here. He's actually got some units running down here towards maybe Palenque or something. Other Australia over here's got 6 cities still. That's what they had last time. I've got a lot of units up here on the northern border. Although, if he's going after Germany up here, though, Germany's got a lot of units. So I don't know if this is going to be enough if he's going to try and cause some trouble there. Although I see kind of the edges of Sumeria coming down this direction as well. Wonder what's going on with that. Otherwise, though, he doesn't look, necessarily any stronger than he did before. Just kind of more of the same. He did get his Jebel Barkal out, which, good for him. Again, Germany here in the middle. They got 7 cities. So looking pretty good. Some of these over here are a little far away from their capital, so they might have some loyalty problems if they're not careful. But overall, they're looking not too bad. They're also building a wonder there in the middle. And then finally, Sumeria up here. Still hasn't done anything against Lisbon. Again, maybe they're just staying friends with him, which is fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cities. Lots of ziggurats coming up all over the place. That is really, really good to see. Really take advantage of that extra science they can get from that. And they did come out here and claim this natural wonder. They also have another settler coming around somewhere. They really need to send one over here. I'm telling you, this is a good one over here, guys. Listen to me. Otherwise, let's go ahead and check these scores. I'll check the overall scores first. Actually, both the Chinas are currently leading the overall score department, which is not too surprising. The other two Germanys have jumped up. Wow. This is actually a lot more segregated for, than it was before, where the two, companion, civilizations are really together. Even the two Junk Curtains are close to each other. Just these two Gilgameshes, which are throwing off that companion, look. Again, still pretty early in the game. I don't know if this really means much. It may just mean that China's been able to get more wonders out or something. Actually, not necessarily. Kind of in the mix with everybody else. But yeah, overall not too bad. If we go look at the overall here, we actually do have Australia currently saying that they're leading with the number of techs that they have. So again, it's changed up again. But then right behind are the two China. I'm not too surprised. Again, China was my pick at the beginning. We'll have to see how right or wrong I was. Sumeria is not that far behind on total text, that is. Germany's actually trailing behind at the moment, so how much of a difference is that going to make? We'll find out. Let's go ahead and jump ahead another 50 turns. All right, here we are at turn 201. We got Sumeria still with only 4 cities. It's really, really going to start holding him back pretty heavily at this point in the game. The fact that he couldn't get Antioch earlier is really going to hurt him. In fact, nobody took Antioch. That's impressive. And actually able to defend against both Sumeria and China. He does have a settler here, but I'm not sure if it's going anywhere or where it could go. Although we do have Germany up here also with a settler in the water. I'm not sure where he's heading either. Overall, though, I mean, he's got a lot of ziggurats. I mean, just all the science from all these tiles has got to be helping him at least some, I mean, you would think. Did he finish the Petra? He did finish the Petra over here, which doesn't really help him that much because there's not a lot of tiles that have hills. I mean, these flat tiles are technically better, but really where the Petra comes into play is some of the hilly tiles and some of the tiles with resources and things like that. So we'll have to see if he can get some of these other tiles into his borders or not. Germany down here, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cities. And there's actually another city over here, 7 cities. I don't know what he's doing with Frankfurt over here. It's a little ways away, but more power to him. Overall, I mean, he's got decent military presence, so I think he'll be holding up pretty strong. He's got a couple wonders here and there. Yeah, he's looking pretty good, I think. He's actually got some warrior monks as well. Interesting. Then we got Australia down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cities. He did finally take advantage of the natural wonder down here, which is good to see. 8 cities, not a bad presence. He actually got the Great Zimbabwe. It's actually being under construction right now. Other than that, I mean, he's got some decent military, like I said, so I think he'll be all right. Wow, Hong Kong. Really, with all the bombards, what are you trying to do? Go after, go across the Great Wall over here, try and do something? That's a lot of bombards right here in this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Hong Kong. It's kind of interesting for a city-state. But yeah, so we got China here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cities. I really like this one right here. I mean, I guess he really wanted to protect his tobacco over here. I like that he's also building the I can't say that, Hui Teokali, right here in the lake. It's going to be an interesting looking city right there. Other than that, I don't know, not a lot going on for him to speak of necessarily. Just, I think he's looking pretty strong overall. All right, let's come over here to the other China. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cities. Wow. That is a lot of cities. Is that one a Chinese city? I can't remember what the original name for that one was. He might have flipped that one from somebody or something. I can't remember. That might be his. I'm not sure. But still, that's a lot of cities. Looking really, really strong overall. I mean, not that more cities necessarily means faster science victory, but I mean, he's just looking pretty solid though. Germany here in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 5 cities. Oh, there we go. 6, 7. 2 more cities down there. I actually think he's looking pretty good as well. He's got a lot of good, strong military here. Got a couple wonders going around. He's actually also building the Great Zimbabwe. I don't think he'll finish in time, but we'll have to see what happens with him. Australia down here to the south, they finally expanded from their 6 cities they had earlier up to 8 cities now. Still pretty decent, you know, amount of military units running around. Oh, I'm sorry, 9 cities. Mr. Bundaberg down here. A couple rice spots. That's something. Still nobody's taken, you know, this spot over here with the good science, natural wonder. And then finally Sumeria up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cities. He's actually got a 9th settler over here about to run out and probably plop something down. Maybe he'll come down this area. Lots and lots of ziggurats for him as well. Really, really good to see. Let's see how the science is stacking up. Currently, Australia is still in the lead. Both Germanys are still lagging behind. Sumeria, actually the Sumeria that's over on the other continent is currently 3rd. It's a little surprising because I actually thought this Sumeria would be doing a little bit better. Science between the two is actually pretty even. Australia's really got, he's got double the science of just about anybody else. He's doing really, really good on the science. Actually, 3 times the science of this Germany down here. So he's really starting to run away with it a little bit, but it's still, you know, relatively early game. I guess we're kind of getting more to the middle game. So still could be anybody's game at this point. Overall score, we did have 2 Chinas and 2 Germanys, you know, neck and neck. They've kind of, you know, alternated at this point. And then we still have the Australia, or the Australia and the Sumerias down here at the bottom. So yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Obviously, nobody's done any research towards the space victory yet. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump ahead another 50 turns. All right, here we are at turn 251, about the halfway mark of the game, although we will continue the game past the turn limit if needed to get the final result list. But Sumeria up here still, he's only at 5 cities, and he's really, I feel like, lagging behind. Again, if he had been able to get Antioch over here, oh, look at there, Frankfurt's actually starting to flip over from a loyalty standpoint, which does not surprise me at all. Kind of a bold, aggressive move for Germany at the last save point. But overall, I mean, that's a lot of ziggurats, tons of ziggurats. But I mean, ziggurats are good. They're really good, but they're also just very, you know, balanced, if you will. I mean, they're going to have science, production, culture, and food. So they're not excelling in any specific, you know, point. I mean, 2 science is great. But is he hurting himself by not having more farms or more production, stuff like that? Who knows? We'll have to see. Germany over here, who lost a city over, you know, to the east, looks like he's losing it to China. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cities at the moment because of the fact that he's losing that one. But still, overall, he's looking all right. I mean, he's got a few wonders here and there. I'm actually kind of surprised he hasn't come down here to this coal and all this area, but I guess there's something about it he doesn't like. But I think he's doing okay. We got Australia down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cities. Really, really strong presence. Oh, wait a minute. Did I count this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cities. So he did have that one down there. I missed. Looking really, really good. So actually, this Australia is looking pretty strong. He doesn't have a lot of units. He's got a bunch up here, but not a lot maybe further south. He actually has another settler down here as well. I'm not sure what he's going to do with that. But yeah, I mean, he looks like he's pretty much going to be left alone. Not many people seem like they're willing to come after him. So left to his own devices, who knows? Maybe he'll just run away with this thing. Got China here in the middle. My goodness, look at the cities. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 cities. Plus he's flipping Frankfurt at the moment, I believe. So that's going to be interesting to see. I still think it's funny that Antioch got attacked by both of these guys and still ticking. He finished off his wonder over here, so he's finally protecting his tobacco very nicely, which is just funny. He's also got a little bit of a Great Wall little loop over here for some reason, but I mean, obviously the Great Wall by itself gives you some, you know, something. So on a desert tile, it's at least giving him something to play with, but it just looks a little silly over there by itself. Other than that, I mean, he's looking pretty good. Tons and tons of cities. Again, it's a bunch of cities does not necessarily equate to good science, but man, it's got to speak for something. Got other China over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cities. Still also really strong for him as well. Very, very wide. Both these China civilizations are. We also got another settler. Maybe he's coming up here somewhere or something. Overall, you know, he's got a decent number of wonders here and there. Nothing necessarily too exciting to speak of. Germany here in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cities. He lost this one down here, it looks like, to Australia. So I'm assuming that probably that was a loyalty flip. So that's probably going to hurt him a little bit. Australia down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cities, 10 cities, 11 cities. Wow. He's looking really, really good as well. Overall, though, he's kind of looking a little weak on the unit side of things. I mean, he's got a few over here, but not much. So we'll have to see what happens with that. Finally, somebody's getting near this, but still nobody close enough to really claim any of these tiles, which is kind of interesting. Guess they just don't value this one as much as I do, but maybe I'm overvaluing it. I don't know. I still feel like a city down here by the cows and the deer and next to that. I think that'd be a great place to put one. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cities. Not looking too bad overall. Tons of ziggurats still about. Looks like he's building the Ruhr Valley over here. We'll see if he can get that one complete. If he does, it's going to give him a pretty good boost to some production, which again will help him with that science victory. Let's look at the rankings overall. Still, Australia has got the most techs in total. Let's actually see which Australia that is. Is that this one, presumably? It's 74 in the technology, and this one's only at... Nope, this one's at 84. So it's actually the green Australia is in the lead from a just pure technology standpoint, which is interesting. It's a little bit further down the score. We got both China's right behind it, which again, I thought China was going to be pretty strong in this game. But we'll have to see. Just because you're here now doesn't mean that's where you're going to be towards the end. Sumeria, actually the Sumeria that I guess I've kind of been spawning in as, it's actually in 4th place overall in science techs. And everybody else is just kind of in the mix. Overall from score, still got the 2 Chinas at the top. Germany's next. Australia, we've actually finally got the separation we were talking about earlier. Sumeria is holding up the last spot here, which is interesting. Just not getting a lot of, not getting a lot of things that's going to give him a lot of score. But that doesn't mean he's not going to, be successful in the science victory overall. Nobody, I don't think, has the technology yet for starports or anything like that, or spaceports, I should say. Well, overall, I think everybody's off to a pretty good start. I don't know that anybody's really running away with it right now. Because again, it's kind of interesting to see that some of the guys that are leading in the science victory and technology side of things aren't leading in score victories. Although the fact that China is leading in score in 2nd and 3rd in science leads me to believe that they're in a pretty good spot overall. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and put a cut in this one. And when we come back next time, we will see who wins this this Science Showdown Heat number 2. I do appreciate you watching, and I hope you join me again next time. Thank you, and goodbye.